You know, we're all members of the human race. And as members of the human race, there are some inherent morals that we deem wrong with society. These morals have laws and punishments written around them. But like everything else, humans have exceptions to the rule. But most of us don't commit murder, armed robbery, rape. We go on with our daily lives. We don't give them a second thought. There are other laws, too. For instance, how many of you sped here today because you were behind your time? If you did, you broke the law. Is that aiding our fellow humans? Arrogance? Ignorance? Disregard? The top 6 selling handguns weigh about 1.5 pounds each. Rifles weigh 6 to 7 pounds. Your vehicle weighs 2,000 to 4,400 pounds. All 3 are examples of very deadly weapons. So why do we choose to follow some laws and not others? And do we have a right to make those choices? Is it out of arrogance, ignorance, disregard? Now I drive home one evening and I'm in the left turn lane. And I'm waiting as dusk is settling in, it's raining, and I watch as 1, 2, 3, 4 cars go by. Now, in Florida, we're one of 18 states that require your headlights to be on if your wipers are on. It's only highly suggested in the other states. Well, as I watched those cars go by, it was my turn to go, so I pulled out. The 5th car didn't have their lights on and hit me at a full 45 miles per hour. Rolled my truck 3 times, spinning around. When it stopped, I can assure you, it's not fun to skydrive. So why did they choose not to turn their lights on? It's been my personal observation that 1 in 6 don't turn their lights on. That's 17% of drivers. In the U.S., there's over 6 million accidents per year, and 38,000 people lose their lives. In Florida, in 2021, there were over 400,000 accidents. Over 3,600 people lost their lives. That's 9%. And the overall total is 7% of the national total. That's a huge number. Now, I drive throughout downtown daily, and usually from the south, the road splits, becomes one way. At the other end of town, before they intersect again, they erected some signs that tell you exactly how fast you're driving. The posted speed limit, 30 miles per hour. I've witnessed 70 miles per hour, but most average 40 to 45. Well, this particular day, one fellow whizzed past me about 57 miles per hour. Now, there's a light about a quarter mile past those signs, and I ended up behind that driver. Now, for the next 2.5 miles, the speed limit goes rapidly from 40 to 45 to 55. When that light changed, he took off at a blinding speed and drove for 2.5 miles at 25 miles per hour. Now, I followed him as close as I felt comfortable to do, something I never do. And at the end of the road, he pulled into a gas station, up to a pump. I pulled in, but I pulled in front of the store. And as I exited my vehicle, I could hear him holler, "Hey, dumbass, don't you think you were following a little close?" And as I turned toward him, I answered him, I said, "Well, I always wanted to meet the guy who started rush hour." He goes, "What the hell's that supposed to mean?" I said, "Well, it's 30 miles an hour in town. You drove 57. It's 55 miles to here. You drove 25. I observed in my rearview mirror for that drive people pulling across a double yellow line to get one space closer to the front. Illegal, number one. Dangerous, number two. The guy 2 cars behind me, shaking his fist out the window, honking his horn incessantly, and shouting a bunch of words that I know no one wants to hear here. One person went across the double yellow line, almost didn't make it back. That's a head-on collision. Very dangerous. So what do you do when you drive? Are you performing a distraction? Because I see people texting still. Or did you get that all-important email that you've got to read while you're driving? I see women putting on makeup in the mirror. I see men driving and shaving. And how many of you have a drink in this hand and a sandwich in this hand? Who's driving the car? We all know better than that. Is it aiding our fellow human? Arrogance, ignorance, disregard? We all have many choices that we make, and we make choices about everything, every day, every hour, every minute. Think about what you're doing. Be a good choice chooser. Have your brain intersect with what you're doing. You're driving. You took the test. You know what's required of you. Let the bad choice choosers wait, because lives will be saved, perhaps even yours. Thank you.